was like, you want to come to the studio? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to come to Bad Boy. And, you know, he walked me in there. And funny story is so we sit down and I play him some beats in like 5 seconds. And he was like, next one, like dogging me. Like I was like sitting there crumbling. And he played something that he had did or just something that was going on at the time. And I heard the gap in sound. I was like, oh shit, like, but it didn't frighten me. So that's what pushed me to like, okay, I know that this is where I need to get to. And I know it's going to take an insane amount of work, but I can do that shit. While I was interviewing, Wyclef walks in. Like, and I'd never seen like a quote unquote celebrity in my life. You know what I mean? Like I probably seen him like from afar or at a parade or something, but like Wyclef standing right over my shoulder while I'm filling out the application for this place.
Wow.
Right. So, and I couldn't tell nobody because I was still going to school at that point. Who I'm working with now is I've worked with FAB, Benny the Butcher, Gigs, Rowdy. It's been a good amount of people, man.
Wow.
Tony Yayo. Like I just been moving the best I can. You know, I've been trying to capture that first plaque. You know, I'm on year 10. You know, I was at Bad Boy, but it closed by the time I started gaining real steam, and then I bounced around. But for the past 2 years, I just been, you know, climbing the ladder bit by bit. Like we in the game at like inches now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right there. I just gotta like get that extra push to break through.
Ago, it's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah,
we got BELAIRE over here. Yo, my guy, bro. My fucking guy, bro. Thank you. I just want to start off, before I even let you speak. This man is one of my greatest inspirations living that I got to know. And, man, just, I'm excited for this. Thank you for being here, bro.
Nah, man, it's my pleasure, my guy. You know that.
How am I even introduce you? You're an artist, you're a producer, you're a father, you're a guider, you're a fucking poet. Yeah,
my man, like, look, wait,
a therapist,
wait, man, don't make me sound like a egomaniac, man. No, I don't know, man. I've been figuring it out myself, man. I'm more just creating a vibe, and whoever rocks with it, man. I'm just happy to be who I am, doing God's work, and just trying to move through life like everybody else, bro.
Wow, bro. Let's dive right into it. When did you start making music? When was music a part of your life?
Well, my first music memory was my mother reading a book to me. It's called Charlie Bebop. And from that point on, I always had an obsession with music. So as far as like just being involved in music, I always have been involved in music in some sense, like joining some random piano class that they're giving away, or, you know, my mother even, like, we didn't even have it like that. And she was like, what you want for Christmas? I want a piano. She saved up her money, went to Goodwill, got me like a little 15-thing Casio, and that's how I taught myself how to play keys.
Wow.
But when I first got involved in the industry, I got involved around like 2014. I was in college, and my advisor had messed up my classes, and this program that I was supposed to get into only comes around once a year. And he was like, well, you can take electives. And I was like, nah, fuck that. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna go to New York and do music for a year. So I came up here and I went to the Institute of Audio Research, and I met Puff's brother-in-law, Steve Dent.
Wow.
And, you know, long story short, I helped him out with something. There was some missing property, and he was like, can you find it? And I found it for him. And I asked him, like, you know, how does a person get like a... So one day he was going to Bad Boy. He was going to Daddy's house. And he was like, you want to come to the studio? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to come to Bad Boy. And, you know, he walked me in there. And funny story is, I made beats at the time. All I did was make beats, bro. And I wanted to be a superstar producer.
Right.
Never rapped, never did any music.
Right.
And I thought I had these fire beats, bro. I was learning all of this shit in school. And I was like, yo, I'm about to impress one of Bad Boy's engineers. I'm about to be on. And So we sit down and I play him some beats in like 5 seconds, and he was like, next one, like dogging me. Like I was like sitting there crumbling, and he's like, turn that off. I'm gonna show you something. And he played something that he had did, or just something that was going on at the time, and I heard the gap in sound. I was like, oh shit, like, but it didn't frighten me. So that's what pushed me to like, okay, I know that this is where I need to get to, and I know it's gonna take an insane amount of work, but I can do that shit.
Right.
So that was around 2014. Yes, 2014. I came to New York.
Wow.
Met Puff's brother-in-law. He was.
Wait, so you came to New York? Where were you before that?
I was in Georgia.
Wow. So wait, you were born where?
No, I was born in New York.
Okay.
And then when my son was born, I moved to Georgia.
Okay.
So I was
with your son.
Yeah, with my son.
Oh, so you got to experience that life.
Yeah, he did, but he don't remember. I moved. I was only down.
Young.
Yeah, I was only down there for about 5 years. You know, I was just kind of working in a tourist shop, and I guess so. It's funny because I was only working in a tourist shop because Savannah's like a drinking town. Like it's open container. You can drink outside. Like,
Nice.
So everybody there just gets drunk. And I was going to a technical school. Well, even before that, I was just working at a tourist shop and just getting drunk. And it's my little cousin's birthday. He passed away. And when he passed away, it kind of woke me up to see like, yo, like, whoa, like, what the fuck? Like, we in this bitch we could really be packed up, trigger warning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's when I started getting up, going to school, and that's when I started to
change perspective.
Right, and then that's what kind of ultimately led me on my path to coming back to New York because, you know, I was like, you know, I kind of had like a little studio in my house. Like I would play with the auto-tune, make songs, show them to my coworkers, but it wasn't an idea to be a career back then. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, maybe I could put something out. Right. Or maybe I could put something out and somebody will like it, but it wasn't. I didn't understand back then what it took now to be like, you know, an artist, a creative, or where it's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was back here. So I was born in New York. Went to high school for a bit. Been back in between here in Georgia for most of my life.
So you went to school in Georgia and in New York.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to get back into the whole like you getting into Bad Boy and P Diddy's brother.
Yeah, his brother-in-law.
And his brother-in-law. But how was it culturally living in Georgia and then going back to New York? How was it your dialogues? Because I'm sure your dialogue has changed, right? Because
it's a completely different lifestyle. It's and time differences. You know, back in the 2000s in Georgia, like things were very strict. Like school was very prison-like. Like you had to have your shirt tucked in. They had something called in-school suspension. Like if you did something wrong in school, it was just a trailer, and you had a cubicle, and you had to stay in there all day. And you got out for lunch. It's like legit jail, bro. Like you curse at teachers, they could come into the classroom and arrest you. So I grew up in that environment. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Like you had to say, like, they get mad at you, and it's like you know, press you. It's like a punishable offense to be like. Call somebody by like their last name or something, like, you know.
For real?
Yeah, bro. It was like, yeah. He was like, it'd be like, yo, it's yes sir, no. Like they like turn around, like, what you talking about? Like, it's yes sir, no ma'am. You know what I mean? Like that's the way it was down south, and the South back then wasn't as progressive as it is now because, you know, I mean, I'm kind of aging myself, but I was there before like the internet and social media was a thing. Like even like if you know about the Scared Straight program, that shit originated in the town I lived in.
Really?
Yeah, so, you know, that's when they take, you know, kids and they show them prison and shit like that. So culturally it was different, you know what I mean? Like you know, you start to learn how that shit shapes you and how you view reality because like people are so strict and you can't express yourself, you know what I mean? Like I had band, but then it was real different. You know, it's a lot, you know, still racism was still alive,
right?
You know, and like it can be prominent down there because it's just.
Is that like part of that yes sir and ma'am shit that's about it probably?
Not necessarily, but like you won't catch a white person. Like a person gotta be really out there to call you a nigga in New York. But a person down south at that time, like if you get into an agreement, even still to this day, you get into a disagreement, they'll fire it off like and be like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? So, and it's just in little micro ways too. Like, you know, if you have a tournament and you have kids and they're white, you know, they're getting calls, bullshit is happening. Like little microaggression ways like that too. That kind of, you know, compound.
It's like underlining bullshit.
But my background, like my parents and my aunts and stuff, like they were in civil rights shit, bro. Like they taught us from young how to move through that shit, and I had to come up real strict. Like it was real, like, yo, that's why I'm the way I am. Like, you know, down to cleaning, bro. Like I had the aunts and moms that, like, yo, they open up the cabinets, pull out all the pots and sit there over you while you do it. But it was because, like, they knew the world, and not necessarily from just a racism standpoint, but like just being a black kid.
Survive it.
Right, exactly. Like, yo, you can't fuck up out there. So we gonna show you how to get it right in here. We gonna be mean to you. You may hate us. Even some, like, you know, I had an aunt that passed away, and, you know, for the longest in my life, you know, I thought I had like this beef with her because how strict she was and how she was, and like I felt like she was invasive and she was my mom, you know, like she was mean to my mom, but I didn't know, like, yo, she was keeping us in line. Like she was like, yo, it's the Kobe thing, you know what I'm saying? The Mamba. It's like, yo, look, I don't care if y'all like me or not, but we gonna win the championship, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and I didn't get that until I got older, and I'm like, oh, you know, and I understood the world from that perspective. But growing up in Georgia, super strict, I go to live with my little cousins in New York, and I go to high school. I was out of high school for 9 months, and it'll make you laugh. I had a 2.5 GPA. They were failing me because you know, you see how I am. I was always like this. I was a rebel. Like, I didn't like being in classrooms, didn't like, something about it set right me. So I cut class. I, you know, smoking in high school,
Right.
causing problems at home because of just the dynamic. Because, you know, as far as back as I can remember, like, I've always been a peaceful, loving person, you know what I mean? But I grew up in a harsh world, and I had to get adjusted, and the adjustment period was rough because, you know, and even then, like, growing up back then, like now that the internet and
Get more information.
not even information, now that the internet has like wokeness, like now it's beautiful to be black and stuff like that. But when I grew up, it's, oh, you were the darkest kid in the room.
Do you feel like that's kind of fake, to a degree? Like not
Yes
for every,
and no.
maybe not
Yes
for
and no.
everybody,
Yes
but
and
like,
no.
you know what I mean?
Yes
Because
and
like
no.
it was so.
No,
it's like it was
Don't
almost
get
day
me
and
wrong,
night.
brother. Listen, I look at them like, I get the, because, you know, because the thing is, it was torture in high school for me, bro. Like, you know, when I'll be completely honest with you. First time a woman ever complimented me, I was 25 years old, and I didn't even believe it, bro. She was like, "You're beautiful." I was like really walked up to her like, "Yo, you really feel like that?" She was like, "Yes." And I had to tell her, like, it was the first time anybody ever complimented me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but that's going through the ringer and being dark skinned, and that's why, like, it's kind of having ramifications now. But like you said, it's so diluted by people who fake want to do it and really want to do it, or neutral about it. It's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Now it's just from a person to person standpoint. But yeah, that's growing up in Georgia, and then I get to New York, and kids are telling teachers to suck my dick, and I'm like, I was sitting in there like, yo, I was like, yo, because I had always heard things about New York schools, like the metal detectors. I heard it was like live because, you know, we go through like marching like ants to anarchy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they calling teachers by their first name, like, sit down, and they're like, I ain't doing shit. And I'm like, what is this? I'm complete culture shock, bro. Complete culture shock.
Right.
Even
So, sorry to cut you off,
go.
but experiencing that, did that make you feel like, fuck, everything that was told to me was a lie? Or was it just like, okay, these people are just different?
Nah, I think back then I wasn't conscious enough to process it to that degree. It just was a different environment, and I sensed it, and I knew
Off rip.
and I knew I had to learn to survive in this shit. Because remember, I told you, in Georgia it was torture, and I had learned from, like, because I had to learn how to fight.
Right.
You know, because, you know, people pick on, you know, if you gotta learn how to fight. Because
Yeah.
you know, I never liked, you know, people can hurt people and be like, yeah, I fucked them up. Like, even if you deserve it, if I hurt a person, I don't feel good about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had to learn how to fight. Like, people don't understand how growing up like that transforms you. You know what I'm saying? And then I get smack dab into the hood of New York, and it's just like, you just learn in different environments and how to survive, because it's a different way to survive in Georgia, because you had the racists, or you have.
But they got guns and they could carry them, right?
Yeah, but, you know, that's you want to avoid that. You want to avoid that. But it's different culture. But we have guns up here. You know, not to talk about guns.
Yeah.
But it's just different as far as activity and expectations. Because in Georgia, like, you know, the best job you probably could get where I lived at is a job at Walmart, bro. It's like nobody's going nowhere really unless they go into the military or leaving. And in New York, it's endless possibilities, endless information. Things are moving fast. Like, it's going to have different effect on kids and their expectations. Like, you have like, it's different now because the internet people are starting to get more and more aware. They got things faster, but it was way less information moved at a slower pace. And New York was the center, always been the center of the world, you know? So you got a place like Georgia at that time where, like, if a Fire New York song comes out, they get it like a month or two later, you know what I mean? But that's why Atlanta is a beautiful thing now, because they built from that where they were lesser known. It took them months to get their stuff out to being the leaders in the music world now. But yeah,
I hear Atlanta's dope. I never been.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's turned into die in New York a little bit. Don't kill me, Atlanta people. But yeah, but it's a different place. Everybody's different because Southern hospitality is a real thing, man. Like I love Southern folks. Southern folks are good people, good nature. Like, you know, a thing that people struggle with when they come from down south to up here is like not saying hi to everybody they make eye contact with, because down there, you don't know this person from a hole in the wall. If y'all make eye contact, how you doing? How you doing? Because that's just how they are down there. Down here, I mean up here, you say hi to a random person, you know.
Like, why are you talking to me?
Right? It's just like, you know, it's different energies, man. So yeah,
it's not always the case though. There is a lot of friendly people in New York. You know, like you definitely come across a lot of people that don't want to talk, but then there's a lot of people that do want to talk. You know what I mean? There's also a lot of people that are not even really from here. They just came over here.
Yeah.
But
good.
No. I just wanted to get back into the conversation that we were discussing about you being at Bad Boys. Your first impression of being there, working with who? Like, what kind of people you've been working with?
So, I started off as an intern at Bad Boys. So when I met Steven Dent, I asked him how to get an internship there, and he told me to fill out an application, and then that's when I got the job there. But it was a shock for me from jump, because while I was interviewing, Wyclef walks in. Like, and I'd never seen like a quote unquote celebrity in my life, you know what I mean? Like, I probably seen him like from afar or at a parade or something, but like Wyclef standing right over my shoulder while I'm filling out the application for this place.
Wow.
Right. So, and I couldn't tell nobody because I was still going to school at that point. I would go to school from like 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 or something like that. Go in the studio.
What school were you going to?
Institute of Audio Research. It's
right.
now. Yeah, I was going to school. So I go to school. We'll go to the studio because nobody had rented it at one point. There was a studio. You could book it in there. I'll book it in there, make sessions, and I go to Bad Boy from overnight, like from 11 to like 7 o'clock, and go right back to school.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a nut job.
Damn.
Yeah, so I did that, but I didn't tell nobody because I don't think they would have believed the shit that I was seeing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. Like, I see French one night, and then I see Chinks. Who else?
Justin Bieber.
You see Justin Bieber. You see Faith Evans. It's like, and this is a kid from Georgia coming out of nowhere. You know, just like, hey, I'm gonna just, you know, go up and do music for a year.
Yo, that fucking reminds me. I feel like we should share that.
Okay.
That we should definitely share that moment.
We're gonna get into it early. Okay.
Yo, is it too early to get into it?
Nah, you can get into it. Yeah, we'll wait for that. We'll wait. That's a juicy one.
Okay.
That's a juicy one.
We'll get there. We'll get there when we explain how we even met.
You're right. We'll lead them into that. We'll lead them into that. But yeah, it's like, you know, I'm doing these sessions. I was interning them. My thing is, like, I'm just an extremely hard worker. That's what Georgia, that's what they say, blue collar. Like, when you gotta work, you know, like, you know, my family wasn't rolling in dough coming up. Like, if I wanted money, I had to like mow lawns, do whatever I had to do to get it.
Yeah.
So I came up here with that mentality. I'm in the studio with that mentality, and they could never find nobody to cover Fridays and Saturday nights. And I covered them by myself. So I'd be working the lounge. It was a lounge. There'd be some night all 3 rooms rocking, and I'm like, boop, 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 boop. And that's how I moved up in the ranks at Bad Boy. So I have a son, beautiful kid, 14-year-old, who you know.
Yeah.
Teenagers are different, bro. He's not that little angel anymore. He's just a human garbage disposal. He eats everything.
OD.
But I worked a job, and that's where I met my boy, Ego.
Ago.
I said ego. That's my Spanish.
That's his Spanish.
That's my man ego.
No, it is crazy. And I was in college during that time.
Mm-hmm.
I just started college, and went to Steve Madden. And you're the first individual that we fucking actually chilled. And,
yeah, man. So let me say this, man. My boy, and I'm so glad I could say this on camera. My boy has come such a long way, man.
Thank you, man.
He's such a young green-eyed kid, so happy, little poet. You know, just this magical little. I'm like, look at this little kid, man.
When you first met me,
right? I'm just like, look at this little kid, man. He's so damn happy, and they ain't experienced shit yet. I'm like, but he got swag though. I'm like, my man got swag, you know. And we used to hang out, man. So, fast forward, one day it was my birthday. And I invite this kid because he has a camera. I'm like, and he's cool. I'm like, yo, bro, man, if you come pull up to the studio. No, okay, never mind. It wasn't a plan to even invite him. I'm going to be honest. It wasn't even a plan. Let me not even try to butter it up.
Oh, shit. All right, give it to me
No,
straight.
it wasn't even a plan. No, you know it wasn't a plan because I'm going to remind you of the story. I just was chilling in the studio on my birthday.
That's a fact.
I just was chilling, and I bought a couple of bottles, and we were just chilling in the A room in Bad Boy.
Right.
And when we're chilling in there, one of the interns come from the front because I had already gained a little bit of status in there at that point because I did a couple of sessions, I brought in some money so I could do certain things, so I booked the studio. And the intern comes to the back and they're like, "Yo, Faith Evans," and the person is probably going to watch this and get tight at me because I should remember who it is. I don't want to get it wrong but the intern comes to the back and it was my boy Alex. It was my boy Alex. There it is. He comes to the back. He goes, "Yo, Faith Evans is here. Which room should I put her in?" And there's like two rooms. There's the big B room, which is being in the session. There's the A room, which I was in, I was using, and like this tiny room we call MIDI, which the producers use. So they're like, "I'm gonna put it in MIDI," and I'm like, "You can't put Faith Evans in MIDI, bro." I'm like, "You gotta put it in the big room, bro." I was like, We'll just go back in there after she's done.
Right.
So we're taking out the bottles, and one of her people see the bottles. It's like, "Yo, you want to listen to Faith's new album?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to listen to Faith's new album." So we go in the studio, and I call you, and I'm like, "Yo, bro, you got to get down here right now." No, actually.
No, I was already in there.
You was
bro.
already there. I'm bugging. I don't know. Camera time, I'm lying. No, go ahead. You tell it.
No. It was, I was already in there, bro. And remember, you got the call. Somebody got the call, called you from downstairs saying that Faith Evans was going to come. We were like, "All right, bet, we leave." As we're leaving, Faith Evans looks at the fact that I have a fucking camera and was like, "Are you a photographer?" And I was like, "Yeah."
In there now. All right. Sorry about the edit. All that bullshit.
No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yo, we keep that shit in there. It's funny, but yo, that was a fucking crazy ass night, bro. Because we fucking got in there, bro, and she showed us her music that she was releasing. We was vibing, bro. That shit
was in peace, his soul. You don't even know. One of the Biggie's DJ, Big Cap, was there that night, bro. Yeah, you were around hip hop royalty, bro. Like Big Cap was there. That's Biggie's DJ. Not, I ain't gonna tell that story, but one day it was so hot, they were performing and the records were melting. So it made when the records get hot and they start melting, they skip because they didn't have Serato back then. So Biggie thought Big Cap kept messing up. So he thought, so there's like a classic video online of Biggie throwing water at him, but that's not what he's known for. Cap is a legendary DJ. I think C's came too. Little C's came too, yeah. So yeah, you were around. That's Biggie's pretty much little homie, bro. So like, yeah, you were around some shit that night, man.
It was a wild night that I didn't even fucking realize.
Yeah, no. I didn't even realize it. And it was crazy. I was just like, yo. And if we're being completely honest, I was a little tipsy that night too. Remember, but I was right there on the line too. I was asking, I was like, "Bro, did I say too much?" He was like, "Nah, bro, you was kind of good, but." You don't remember? Was I saying too much? I was talking. It was like after every song, I was like, yo, that song made me. I was doing the most, bro. I was doing the most. But funny story, bro. She saw me. We had a holiday party, and she saw me, And when she saw me, she kind of recognized me, and she gave me a hug. She's like, "How you been?" And it was up from there because I had a bad night that night, boy. That was a funny night. I was too lit because I ain't gonna talk about that. Let me not even do that on camera because that'll be funny. Yeah,
Well, I mean, why not?
Because I still have people with Bad Boy who I rock with, and I don't want to start no drama in between.
Okay.
But it was let's just say it was just every department was valued differently, and the studio always felt like it didn't get the recognition it deserved. You know what I mean? Because we work closely with the artists, and that's what moved the company. You know what I mean? We didn't generate as much money as the other departments, but I just feel like we were a part of the history that made that thing what it is. You know what I mean? As far as all the other ventures, because I was around when Revolt was born. Ciroc was the partnership with the NBA at the time, so it's like it was just one of them vibes, man. But yeah, all in all, Faith, someone I love to death, showed me love. That was a fantastic night. It was
amazing, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That was a movie.
Yeah.
That was an experience, and she didn't have to do that.
Nah, on my birthday too. It's on my birthday, bro.
Yeah, she didn't have to do that, and she did. And I if I ever see her, it's always respect.
Facts, man.
For real.
Facts. She's
well,
wonderful.
So you're in Bad Boy. You're working with different artists, and then shit starts dying down. What was the transition like? What happened? Why did it die down?
So, I feel like maybe in speculation, rent in the city had changed at that point. Like, so that building was probably going to go up in price by thousands and thousands of dollars. And you got companies like Revolt that's turning over a couple of extra $1 million. Ciroc is turning over millions of dollars. You got this studio that isn't generating the money, because when he opened it, he had Biggie, the Locks, all of this money was generated differently in the industry because of album sales, because Bad Boy's been around that long. It's before the internet, bro. Like when it came to CD sales, Bad Boy sold everything, bro. So the money that they were generating, because back then, you can get up to $1.50 an album. You sell 3 million copies. It's just simple math. And these people, this dude is selling millions of albums, and companies just will give you money if they see you could generate it.
Right.
But you turn on the internet era and streams and things like that.
Changed the game.
Exactly. It changed the music industry. Wasn't no reason to have a multi-million-dollar studio and you're not using it like that, or it's not generating the money. So I think when the lease was up, the rumor was Revolt was supposed to buy it, but they didn't. I don't even care if I get in trouble for that. But yeah, Revolt was supposed to buy it and they didn't. And it wound up closing, which was unfortunate because it's like it was a legendary place, bro. Like Biggie recorded in it. Like, funny story, like after that holiday party I told you about with Faith Evans, Harv, who's the president, wanted Biggie ad-libs. And so we go back to the studio and they playing the real tape, and while it's playing you can hear Biggie while he's alive, bro. Like breathing, and it's just straight raw vocals, and I'm like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? And all of this stuff, like, that's why Stephen Dent is...
So what happened to all of that?
I mean, they've vaulted it. I'm pretty sure they got it somewhere safe, because like, even at one point, like, they used to have pictures in the bathroom that Biggie signed, and
the plaques.
Right? No, the plaque. Well, yeah, they were the plaques. Yeah, they were the plaques. But I'm pretty sure they're somewhere safe now, like archived.
Wow.
But that was, you see how they just did the Hove event. Like, that's a place of history, man. They should have at least made that into a museum or something, bro.
Right.
Like, it's just, it's just. It was such a staple. Like, honestly, I love that place, bro.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That place,
it was beautiful.
It was my life, bro. Like, I would get snowed in there on purpose just so I could.
I like the elevator too.
The
whole thing was like,
it was the sailor doors, like, you know what I mean?
It's flat.
It was unfortunate that it closed, man.
Damn. So how was your transition like, and what were the struggles you had to face when that was closing down and you were.
Well, what happened was, it was a shock because, like I told you the story, I was blessed. Like, I went straight from school to working for Bad Boy. So I never had to go through the trenches, and so it was like an immediately like fall from Mount Olympus, bro. Like it was like, boom, I'm at the bottom. I gotta grind. So that's what I did, and I pretty much, would just record anybody who called me at first, which would be weekly. I still worked the jobs at Steve Madden. Met some great dope people like you know what I'm saying? There's a whole network of people I have from Steve Madden who I love. And we're gonna tag them this because we love them to death, bro. Like they was some good people over there.
Yeah,
bro.
for real.
Like there was some real good people at that place, bro.
For real.
But I worked at Steve Madden. Hit a couple of tragedies along the way, lost lost 2 good friends to suicide. It was a rough go, man.
How you feel about suicide?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, because like in Sweden, you could kill yourself and it's legal.
Well, the thing is this, right? Like, it kind of plays into the person that I am. It's like, it woke me up to see people have it rough here, bro. Like, you never know what a person is going through to be that decisive about their life. Like, everybody's the reverse right now. Like, they're so content on protecting their life that they do weird shit now, and they don't realize that we're all gonna perish one day at some point. So they're so wired up over that fact that they're just like, you got to think what a person has to be going through here to say, I want no part of that shit. And it's being misunderstood. And it's simple things like people not showing up for them when they need them, not getting the help they need, being misunderstood, society working against who they are naturally. You know what I mean? Like, it's rough, like, and I don't want people to go through it. And it's to a trauma point, like to a fault. Like, I got to be there for people because I don't want them to be alone, because the real of it is the people I lost, like, one, I was the last person he talked to, and the other one left me a note. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta, it made me appreciate people more. That's why, when we spoke off camera, I was like, you're doing great, you're doing good, just slow down and save everything a little bit more, because like, when you lose things, you don't realize that sometimes the times that you're with them are the best times. You know what I mean? Like, you be just treating it like it's just a regular hangout, and like it's just like when they gone, you like, damn, bro, that was one of the best nights I've. And and sometimes we appreciate it to a good enough point, but like I just always try to remind people, especially in this day and age, you gotta like just. Real slow, enjoy it, savor it, be around your people, fall in love with that moment, you know what I'm saying? Take it second by second and be present, feel the energy in the air, because that's what makes us remember the night. Like, we can remember the energy in the air, the temperature, the way it felt, how dense it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, even back then, I can remember, like, the air was a lot lighter around us because we were younger and we were, like, just... we haven't gotten calloused by the world a little bit. We just like, we outside. Now we like gentlemen, we slowing down. That comes from,
realizations.
Exactly.
Wow, my guy. So you were telling me before, right? When you got out of the Bad Boys, you were bouncing around. You were going different areas, right? And
anywhere I hired gun, bro. Anywhere anybody needed me, I went. So I would get bigger sessions here and there. I knew 2 radio hosts that would really help me down at the point. DJ Create and Javon, he's a producer. And they were radio hosts back then when I had worked with them. And they would just put me in big sessions. They trusted me. They helped me out. There was another group that helped me out called DMD and Loners, good people. They would call me. So, and I was just, it's funny we talking about this, but it's kind of like, I was just meeting people throughout the city, bro. Like, I just would go here, and I would go to open mics. I would go to, like, just different places. Or if I see somebody playing music in public, get in my car, like, yo, I do music. I'm an engineer. Holla at me if you need me. I pull up X, Y, and Z. And I would get calls. And my boy Saquon, I met him from Bad Boy. A couple of connections I had from Bad Boy. So I went from, like, a steady horse that was on the rise to, like, this volatile war game, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this bill, and then the last minute I get a call like, yo, blah blah blah, this is big session that pays everything. A lot of people don't know what it's like to live like that, man. Like you hustling, like it's you and God, and that's the thing we talk about. Like, that's what brought me closer to God, because I'm like 11th hour, like, that I'm about to be, in trouble. If this money don't come through, it's all gonna fall down, and that money hit the account. Even in some ways I couldn't even explain, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I went through that path for a couple of years, and then, of course the pandemic happened. No, well, okay, but before that, so I went through that path, And that's when I decided to do my own music. So I was doing that, and I'm like, yo, I was doing music kind of on the side, but I was like, I need to stop making other people's dreams come true and focus on my music. So I stopped engineering for a little bit during that time period, and I started working on music. I would do it a little bit on the side, but I didn't make it as my main thing. So that's when I had dropped my first project, In a Perfect World. So I just worked on it while I was at work, and I would just come home.
I love that. By the way.
Bro.
One of the best projects.
Oh, you love In a Perfect World, bro? Yeah. So In a Perfect World is what, 2017, man. Oh my God. And I know why you love it too, because you know me at that point. You know what I'm saying? And people who know you listen to your music from a different perspective, because like they have a different understanding of what you're saying. You know, that's why I always have to be authentic, bro. Like I have to. Like I can't do, regardless if it's a podcast or whatever, like I always gotta be authentic. I gotta be me, bro. That's why this is easy for us, man. Even in my head, I'm like, I'm over talking, but I'm like, nah, man, we vibing, man. Yeah. And it's like, but it's just that perspective. It was it's funny, like certain songs, I can hear where I was at that point in my life, bro. Like even the room that I recorded in, I can hear that. And even sometimes, like I'll get right, I'll have a vibe, and I'll sit back and lay back, and it's kind of like time travel sometimes, because I could just lay there and be completely immersed in that time. Like I said, moment in time.
It was a moment in time.
Right, but even feeling it like that. Remember I said the energy, the air, how I felt, my mindset, like I could be there completely, bro. And it's just,
it's almost as if you're recording an experience.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we are. We're transcribers, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you blessed with a gift of creating and any kind of creation, any kind of transmutation, you're gonna feel things on tilt. We're here to experience. A lot of people try to tailor it and make it so they can choose how they're experienced. But when you're a creative person, your job is to go out there, feel some shit, and tell everybody about it in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why we get all fucked up when we don't create shit, because we be like, we about to pop. You know what I mean? Because we got all these fucking feelings. We got to get them out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're not doing your job. You know?
Yeah.
And I told somebody this today, like the righteous road when you're creative is very narrow, bro. It's narrow as shit, bro. And you be seeing people all on Pleasure Island doing what they do.
There's a song in that
Which one?
I forgot, but it starts with a woman speaking.
Is it Rotations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
one of my favorite tracks out of the.
And that was so there was a person who I was dating at the time, and like I'll be honest about, like, she hated the fact that I expressed myself through the music about our relationship. Like understanding it now, like we were just at different points in our lives, and they didn't mesh well when the bad sides of ourselves came out. It was never a thing about her, it was never a thing about me, but when I articulated it, because of where I was at in my life, it felt like like somebody wronged me. You know what I mean? Because my mind was young at that point. I'm like, I did all of this right, and you wronged me, instead of just being like, it just doesn't work, but I should still love you where you're at. So it would come out in the music, but I never did it in a negative way. You know what I mean? But I do understand the perspective. But the thing about it is, I'm an honest person. Like, I'm sorry, I'm like, I gotta tell my side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does it itself. Like people like will get upset at me because like that's how my music is, but it comes out itself, bro. Like I can't control the message, bro. I just deliver it. You know what I mean? And like you said, I've grown with it. You know what I mean? Like my music now has even developed, and it's deeper concepts and things like that. You know. What were you gonna ask me about? But I'm sorry, I got on a little rant. But.
No, it's okay. Right now, what I was thinking about in my head, kind of like jumping back into what you were saying before about suicide. Like, how has two friends killing themselves affected your life?
Many ways, bro. Many ways. There's it put me on the spiritual path, definitely. Because when you get rocked like that, it changes your perspective on life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes people slow down and you know what I mean? Like, you can tell people talk fast. Like, people talk fast, but people slow down. Like, that's how I can tell a kindred spirit, because by they talk. You can tell when somebody been through some shit. They talk really slow and calculated and thought, because it takes a specific amount of work to understand the new life that's been presented to you when somebody does something like that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like I told you, I lost my first cousin today. It wasn't by suicide. He had got shot, but that had gave me an understanding that life is fickle. But when he did that, it showed me the window to other people. Like, yo, like, I'm just like, I just saw that from a life perspective. You know, I got to get my shit together because something could happen to me. But when my friend passed away, it showed me something could happen to other people. You know what I'm saying? And people like you, like, this guy was my brother, man. He opened my mind up in so many ways. He would bring me books, bro. Like, when I moved to Georgia, I was a high school New York kid coming out of high school, like I said, with that energy, that, you know, I got to survive kind of energy. And I hang around him, and it's one of my first white friends I ever have. And I'm hanging around him, and he's putting me around in safe situations, showing me different people, like, being patient with me, you know what I'm saying? And seeing how my mind works, and like, tailor making things for me. Like, hey, you like this? Read this book. And it blow my mind, open me up different music. Like, you know, the reason why my music is so eclectic is because of him. Like, first time I ever heard David Bowie, bro, we was in his car, and I'm like, we drunk, and I'm not gonna say we drunk. I was drunk.
That's wild that you mentioned David Bowie, because you know how I said I was doing a podcast before this podcast. I'm in the same fucking clothes.
Hey, look,
watch, you're gonna see
Scooby
it too.
Doo.
But the guy that I interviewed, he worked with David Bowie.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, David was legendary, bro. Like, it's just crazy to be.
Or met him, rather, not worked.
Even so, bro. Even so, it's just, when you understand these people's legacies, it's crazy to be attached to them in some way. Because you probably didn't think about it, but, like, yo, bro, like, you're part of the history of Bad Boy in some small way. Like, it's like you were in there where Biggie recorded Ready to Die and Juicy. Like, you were in that place where that was recorded while it was operational, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
like,
we were there to experience Faith Evans' album release.
Yeah. You were part. She was there playing her album before she released that. Is out to the world right now.
That's history.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what puts me, centers me as far as, like, what I've done. Because I'm a humble person, man. Like,
You tremendously are. You are. And it's crazy because, like, they don't even know who you're working with yet.
Yeah.
And, like, the way you carry yourself, I could only imagine how they feel working with you. And they probably feel like, this I can speak to this guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and they fucking feel great, and that's probably why people will continue to want to work with you.
Look, I treat everybody like human beings, bro. Like, from, like, you know, there is a saying that we did have in Bad Boy, like, you got to treat the janitor like the CEO, bro. Like everybody got to get, because you don't know who is gonna do what, bro. Like, you could, and that's what the people don't be understanding about the music industry. It's small, bro. Like, there's some person who you do wrong, and then the next thing you know, they the biggest thing since sliced bread, and you sitting there with your hand out fumbling, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's a grounding thing for me to remember that I'm Bad Boy alumni. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, yeah, like, I'm in there. Like, people who from Bad Boy, they know me. They, you know what I'm saying? I was there. I was putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless if they want to say how much it was or not, it's like, they was like, yo, he was there. Like, even with the year I came, you know what I'm saying? Like, I came during the French Chinks Money Making Mitch era, you know, but it's a fantastic time, man. It was a wonderful place. I'm sad it closed, you know what I'm saying? It was lit, but, you know, it shouldn't.
Right. So you moved around a lot, and then now you finally at a place in Brooklyn, you said?
Bronx, baby.
In the Bronx. My bad. You're the X.
I'm about to say every time. I'm from
in the X. So now you're working with.
So who I'm working with now is I've worked with FAB, Benny the Butcher, Gigs, Rowdy, It's been a good amount of people, man.
Wow.
Tony Yayo, like I just been moving the best I can. You know, I've been trying to capture that first plaque. You know, I'm on year 10. You know, I was at Bad Boy, but it closed by the time I started gaining real steam, and then I bounced around. But for the past 2 years, I just been, you know, climbing the ladder bit by bit. Like we in the game at like inches now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's right there. I just gotta like get that extra push to break through.
Wow, and you want to move to LA?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm moving to LA. These cats out the bag. I told my people on Instagram, but yeah, I'm moving to LA, man. I gotta. I think it's just time for me to go to the next level.
Okay.
And I think LA is gonna take me there as far as like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because you know I'm just dedicated, bro. Like I gotta get it. I gotta figure it out. Like, and I know God made me. You know God loved me, and I can't fail that way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just locked the fuck in. You know what I mean?
Bro, I don't want to hop around too much, but how was it working with Fab, bro?
He's a legend for a reason, bro. He's a legend for a reason, bro. Like, understanding music, because I'm an artist myself, like I see his mastery over what he does and how it's just greatness, bro. Like I can't even explain that shit. Like I can't give away too much because, you know, it's just sensitive information right now, but all I can say is like, yo, like you understand why he's been around for as long as he has, like immediately, bro. It's like, oh, it was like, it felt like I was at Bad Boy for the first time all over again as an artist. Like, I'm like, that's the gap between me and legendary greatness, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But it don't scare me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me confident because, you know, I got my way around music now. Like, I'm not scared of nobody, but it definitely shows me like, all right, I gotta go, you know what I'm saying? Like it showed me I gotta put that in it, you know what I'm saying, to be great. Because that's one thing I could say I've been blessed with in my life. I've been able to witness greatness and see what it takes to be great. And a lot of people be scared of that. They'll shy away from that shit. Like me, I'm like, all right, you know.
You're hungry for it.
Right, exactly. I'm like, it's go time. Like, all right.
Yeah, that's when you're hungry though.
Yeah,
I feel like you only get that when you're hungry.
Like I told you, I was raised like that, man. Like, you gotta get to it, man. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Don't nobody owe you shit. Like, get up, put something in your hands, put in some work. That's how you gonna get what you gotta get.
You're right.
And, you know, I don't know no other way to be. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna jump on here and try to act like I got it like that every day and I just pop up ready to get. Like, some days I ain't got it. You know what I mean? That's the days that I gotta pray and I gotta do the things for my mental health to get right, bro.
Right. What are some of those things?
Getting super drunk and high and having like a 3-hour solo DJ set. Like, that shit get tribunal, bro. This shit get tribunal, bro.
That's fucking funny.
It gets tribunal. But I mean, I don't recommend that for anybody. That's my personal thing. But you gotta free your mind up from what's ailing you. And there are methods to do that. My methods are I have to create. That's painting or writing or something to transmute these feelings. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I'm an artist. I feel things on a tilt, like a 10 times scale. So if those feelings don't come out, then they manifest themselves in ugly ways. You know what I mean? So, especially with dealing with suicides and just heartbreak, it's just like it all can be ugly. Yeah. So I have to do those things. And do I always do them? No. Sometimes I do the ugly things, and then I'm like, all right, it's time to do the things I have to do. But create, find pockets of appreciation. You know what I mean? Like, what do I have? You know, what greatness have I had that I know nobody else could have had? Where that was for me. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, losing people will show you, bro. It's like every day is a blessing, bro. Like,
it's true.
It's every day, bro. Like, and people be forgetting that every
no matter even if you think it's a shitty day, it could be a great day. It's a blessing. It's a great day.
You don't know, because the thing is, you don't know what, you know. It's a master plan. Like, we not just these creatures that it's like, I mean, it can seem like that at times, but like, we always have these moments of clarity where we're like, oh my God, like that horrible day turned into me doing this wonderful thing. Like, I watched a Bob Ross video the other day. Like, you gotta have darkness with light. Like, he's like, you He's like, you need a little darkness to know when the good days are coming, bro. Like, and it's
true.
like, you got to go up and down. You got to be prepared for that, you know?
Yeah. What is something that you can share with the people? Something that you could look into that camera, or you could look at me and talk. And
we having a combo. I'll talk to them.
What can you say to the people that will keep them going forward? What's something that keeps you going forward?
There's one, figure out what you believe in. You know what I mean? You have to. Are you there? You know? Are you here? Like, what are you doing? Like, one, figure out what you're doing. If you know what you want and it's worth it, you'll fight for it. If you're just out here every day doing whatever, God knows what, it's not gonna make any difference. But if you got a purpose, a goal, you're gonna fight, and you have to realize you have to fight. Yes. You can be tired, you can take rest, but at a certain point, you have to get up and you have to fight for yours. And fighting is not with your fists. You know what I'm saying? It's sometimes fighting is holding on. You know what I mean? And you have to hold on long enough for the big blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like the big one. Like you know, we're here all for a reason. You know what I mean? One very unique to us that we don't have any clue how to understand, because this is all of our first time here. We think we've been here, but like, no, everybody's been here for the first time. And we're all trying to figure it out, what it means in a finite timeline. So you're here for the first time and the only time. And you're supposed to just be, you know, that. But if you know why you're doing it, and you know that it's finite, and you figure out a way to make it worth it, you can make it through anything. And understand, trust the process. Trust the process. Things must go down so they can go up. Things must go up so they can come down. What goes up must come down, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you're at the bottom, what's the only way to go?
Up.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
so you always got to remember that we're creatures of movement, bro. Like, we don't sit still. There's no place where we're gonna do these things and we're just gonna stay here. That's flatline, bro. That's not life. You look at your heartbeat. What does it do when it beats? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's not this thing when you live in this life that you good. You got all your money, everything figured out. You're peaceful. What's that?
Mundane.
It's flatline. It's nothing. You know? And that's what keeps me going. I'm like, yo, like, look, and I know God and the universe is real. However you want to identify him, the universe is real. There's something at work that I do not understand, but that doesn't scare me because it's kept me good so far. It's got me here in the first place, doing all of these things. And I've not done it with any handout or any help. Like, it's just been lucky situation. Like, I bump into Diddy's brother-in-law. Come on.
Right.
And I could have thought that me missing that program was the worst thing in the world. Worst thing ever happened in my life. I was supposed to be a surgical tech, be in a program, making $70K a year. And then I wound up at Bad Boy doing the thing that I always had loved since my mother had read me Charlie Bebop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people don't be understanding.
Full circle, by the way.
Definitely. That's why I trust God completely, bro, because shit get real. That's another thing people got to understand. Shit get real, but you built for it. You built for it. God made you. Whatever is out there that created this thing that is so vast we can't understand, took the time out to make you. You can do it. Pray, meditate, journal, and stand on something. Whatever goes on in your life, if you stand for something, it'll keep you grounded. You know, because losing those people, man, it's rough, bro. And I had to learn this the hard way, by doing it the way that everybody else does it, letting it come out ugly. You know, drinking, smoking, you know what I'm saying? And just running from it, you know what I mean? But even the second time when it happened, you know, it broke my heart, bro. Like, it's just like, yo, I'm tired. Like, and my mother told me something on the phone. She was like, you got to get in touch with your spirit now. You know what I'm saying? She was like, it's just that time in your life. Like, you have to, because you got to understand, like, this, people see things with their eyes and people see things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole different ball game. And another thing is, understand it's healing. It's ugly. When you have a scab, it's going to look ugly before it comes off and it looks pretty again.
True.
You know what I mean? You got to understand, metamorphosis in any part of nature, butterfly, crab shedding their skin, it's a near-death experience for all of them. But what happens in its place? Something stronger, harder, and more durable grows until it's the next time to shed to do the same process.
Right.
That's what I said. We're creatures, understand, we're creatures of movement. We're not these things where we just, we have to understand that. So when you're on a downswing, find your remedy, whatever that is. Like I said, if you got to get drunk and go, I mean, I don't recommend that. I say write it out or something, but whatever you got to do that don't hurt nobody, get right to it. Don't hesitate. Eat right. Exercise. You have to eat right. You have to exercise. You know what I mean? It's all those things, because people don't understand, like, we don't just arrive at these points of depression. Like, there's a bunch of tiny decisions that we make throughout the day that lead us here. And we could think that they're good decisions. Like, me, I'm a people pleaser, bro. Like, I'll give to a fault. You know what I'm saying? Because of those suicides. I'm like, I gotta be there for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And what God gonna do? He gonna teach you, bro.
Yeah.
And you gotta get your heart broken a little bit so you can understand. You go up and down, you go down, and when you come back with certain understandings. Like, you can't be there for everybody. Sometimes when you're there for everybody, you fall on a sword that was meant for them. And you taking their lesson on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And God gonna teach you that, especially a tough dude like me, because I'll be there for anybody, bro. Rain, sleet, hell, snow, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. Now he told me, he's like, if you're gonna be there through everything, somebody gonna put you through every damn thing.
That's true. But be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
Anyway.
I want somebody I'll go to hell and back for, and they send you to hell and back. You be like, why you got me going through hell and back? I love that.
Yo, do you have any questions for me?
How do you feel you've grown since the first time we met?
Damn. I was a kid, bro, when I met you. Like, I feel like life definitely smacked me in the face a lot. Definitely. There was a lot of things that I was bad at that took some time for me to learn. One of those things was listening. Another thing was being aware. Truly aware. Needing to let go of how much I looked at myself and how much of the world is what it is, and how much am I providing for it for real. And I feel like I learned love and passion.
And what taught you love and passion?
I feel that it was the lessons that I didn't understand yet that my mother would try to give me when it clicked later on.
Did you feel like an asshole?
Yeah, I feel like a fucking dick, bro. I was like, oh, that's why my name is Axel.
I was like, I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
oh my God.
I definitely still feel like an asshole sometimes too. Like, a part of me sometimes feels like I have to be though. Not an asshole like a tyrant, but an asshole like, this is how I feel about shit and this is my boundary.
It's not an asshole. That's how people identify it, man. Like, look, man, we all in the process. We all somewhere, bro. Like, that's what I've learned. Like, I learned to love people where they at. Sometimes I don't agree with it. Sometimes I'll be emotional about it. But, because that's what loss taught me, bro. It's like, you gotta love people where they at, bro. Like, you ain't gotta take it personal when they don't ignite, because that's what everybody is. Everybody is so in their feelings and my boundaries and blah, blah, blah. And yes, have boundaries, but like, you can't be everyone's judge, jury, and executioner. You know what I'm saying? Because when they go and they leave on bad terms, it's just like, when you think about it, it'd be like, yo, like, I don't have to have this soul bounded, tied, open thing with everybody. But some people, like, you know, I can just meet them where they at. Like, I love you for you, even if you not messing with them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hold no resentment towards them because it's like, yo, like, they just don't get me. You know what I mean?
And that's fine.
Right, and it is fine. That's what, you know, and that's what, you know, makes it easier to traverse through life. You're like, yo, look, I love you for you, and you can love me for me. You'll figure it out. If you don't, if you love me for something else, I'm sorry, I can't be that, but you'll figure it out just like I did.
Wow.
You know, and I'm glad you did, man.
Yo, thank you, bro. Like I said, man, I really appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Really
of course,
appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you coming over here.
I'm honored to be on here, man.
Nah,
I've been looking at the giraffe. I'm like, yo, I got
It's real.
Yo, bro. I've been like, this is what I'm saying. This been my guy for a long time, and people be thinking because I'm busy, I don't pay attention to people. But like, yo, I remember when he got the giraffe. I'm like, okay, the giraffe's on the train. The giraffe.
Yo, that shit went viral.
Right. And I'm like,
that shit went viral.
I'm like, okay, the giraffe's in his home now. The giraffe has been spray painted, and then the giraffe's on the podcast, and I'm just like,
and I used it on the cover of my first album, Newgrounds.
The giraffe's on an album cover, the giraffe's in his house, and now the giraffe.
You know what the giraffe is called, right?
What's the giraffe called?
Her name is Esperanza.
I do know that. Damn it, I failed. I'm never Esperanza. Lo siento, mami. It will never happen again.
Yo, you funny as fuck, bro.
Right, bro. But I'm definitely proud of you, bro. I do want to ask you a couple of more questions too. How does it feel to be an artist now, man?
Bro, I feel like it's the only thing that makes sense.
Lean into that shit. And that feeling right there, bro. It is. Sound. My mother told me art reflects life. You know what I'm saying? Sound is life, bro. Like, if you look at sound, how it moves, frequency, you know what I'm saying? Vibration. Every note is a frequency. Everything you do has to be. So, you know, Axel's starting to learn. Well, I'm calling you by your W.
It's all good.
Ego is starting to really ramp up his own stuff. That's what I saw today, because we haven't seen each other in a while, bro. Like,
years.
It's been years, bro. And I've been at it, and he's been at it growing, and he's just showing me stuff today, and I'm like, all right, he's in that pocket now. He's about to go in and like start to take over shit. So I'm like, all right, let me show you a couple of things. And I'm looking, and I'm like, yo, like, he really is starting to learn this shit, like, and really get to it.
Yeah.
What's the goal? Like, what do you want?
This has been my goal since college. It's always been the same thing. It always will be the same thing. But I do want to make it big with my music, right? Podcasting has been a new way for me to show the people who I am and who I fuck with, who inspires me, and like, it's been a great tool. But my end goal is that, like, I would love to make an LC3, which is a non-profit / for-profit company, to create parks in the perspective that the community would like, and attract that community with their favorite artists.
It's beautiful. And you want us to, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I want to call that the Seed of Life Project, and I want to have it connected like on a map. So each point would be where the park is at. And the Seed of Life, if you know it, it's like sacred geometry.
Yeah.
So that,
I
feel like that plays a part in like my reality somehow. I don't know why I've had that like feeling for a long time, but
it's probably one of those, if you build it, they will come moments. Like, just do it. You know, like, you don't have to know why it's happening. Just fucking do it. Like, just build a sacred geometry car. You could do it, man. I'm trying to figure out, because it's like, I want to know, like, what you want to leave behind besides something. Like, I don't want to know really what you want to do. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do you want to leave behind? Like, what are they going to say about...
People are in control.
No, what I want?
That's what I want to leave behind. People are in control. I want people to feel that they are in control. People are in control. You are in control. You are in control. You want something to change, you could change it.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's a good one. I don't have any more questions, man.
Yo, where can the people find you, bro?
At BELAIRE on Instagram. I got a link tree, got some music out, got some podcasts out. I gotta have you on there now. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Yeah, before I get out of here to Cali. But yeah, at BELAIRE on Instagram. I'm on yeah, that's about it. But yeah, at BELAIRE on Instagram. Follow the vibes. You know, a couple people know me, I'm pretty sure. Tell people how to find you too, man, because you know.
Of course they know where to find me.
I'm gonna share your shit, bro. That's why I'm like, tell them.
Oh man,
like,
go to Mars. AGO, the number 2
go.
Mars with a Z at the end.
There you go. I'm about to say, I know it's gonna be yours, but I'm like, tell them too, man. So my people can know we support. Because the thing is this, I appreciate you bringing me on here, and I know this was a thing for you to interview me, but I just want to support you too, man, because like. You really got something special. I'm so proud of you, man. Like,
thank you, bro.
To see you come from, like you said, like this kid who just wanted to just jump in the world and take over to being strategic, moving with intent, and very just awake and aware. It's just beautiful, man. And it makes things that I went through, you know what I'm saying, when we helping each other back and forth coming up, because you didn't even know it. Like, there's a lot of times where I just need to be around a good, bright light and a dope person, and we just hang out, and I'm like, all right, that's enough to get me where I need to, enough energy to get me where I need to go, bro. So just keep grinding, bro. Keep growing, man. I'm proud of you to death, man.
Yeah,
I love you, bro.
I
swear to God.
Thank you, bro.
Love you, man, for real.
Love you. So, yeah.
It's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So, yeah.